Thank you for joining us this morning, and I'm going to be sharing some information concerning the Mashiach's name as far as whether we should be calling him with the suffix shua or shah, and we're going to discuss the difference of these two words because this seems to be the most controversial aspect about the Messiah or Mashiach's name. It can't be both, it has to be one or the other. And so I'm going to share with you what I have found through my research concerning the difference of the part of the Mashiach's name, whether it should be shua or shah, and we'll talk about the difference of the both of them. And again, keep in mind it can't be both, it has to be one or the other. Now, first of all, I want to read from the book of Numbers chapter 13 today, verse 16. And most scholars know, or even those that have done any kind of research whatsoever in regard to the Mashiach's name, they understand that that Joshua, the person that we know as Joshua as far as the English word in our translations, had the same name as the Mashiach. And but because of that, there's still confusion about whether it should be Yahusha or Yahusha or Yeshua. We're going to talk about all these in this series of teachings. We won't get to all of them today or this segment, but I do want to go in depth and just to show you the research that I have found. Then I want you to look it up yourself, because you need to be convinced yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm just sharing with you the information I have found. Let the Ruach of the Spirit guide and direct your study so that we can all know the truth, because we should be seeking the truth and not some doctrine or some type of thing, tradition that we may be holding to, and not really pursuing the truth of this matter. But with that said, I want to say this right up front. Just because, and we can verify this, the name of Joshua, again, that's the English name that we know in the scriptures. It's been changed a number of times, and we're going to point this out. And just because the name Joshua, or whether you use Yahusha or Yeshua or Yahusha, whatever you use, you have to understand that there was a prophecy given in the book of Zechariah chapter 6 verse 11 and 12 concerning the name of the Mashiach. And if you look this up, and of course you'll have to look it up in a Hebrew, Greek interlinear Bible, or some type of software that has the scriptures where you can see the original letters, and also be able to remove the vowel points that surround the names, because we understand in our study, if you don't know this, that most of our translations are translated from the Masoretic text, and the Masoretic text use vowel points to change the pronunciation of different names in the scriptures or words. And because of that, this has caused the confusion that we have today. There would not have been this confusion if the scriptures had not been tampered with in this way, as far as changing the way that these names were pronounced. And so, with that said, if you look at the original text without vowel points, I use for my church software on my computer, I use Blue Letter Bible, and I can go to this verse, or I can go to Zechariah chapter 6 verse 11 and 12. I can click on that verse, and it will pull up the Hebrew and the English translation. And then where you see the name that's given for and by the way, it's foreshadowing the Mashiach to come, because it makes a reference to this high priest, the high priest Yahusha, which and we've talked about this, is translated means Yahuwah, our righteousness. And this person that's described in there that shall build the temple of Yahuwah, by the way, we know it's the Mashiach it's talking about. And if you look it up, though, in your research, in your lexicon, you'll find that it will say Yahusha, but it's only Yahusha by means of vowel points. The original text, and we know the original text was written without vowel points. We know this from the Dead Sea Scrolls, that there were no vowel points in the Dead Sea Scrolls as far as in the ancient script, and we do have some Masoretic text with vowel points, but the Dead Sea Scrolls, as far as the text that was found in 1948-49 at Qumran, you'll find that the vowel points weren't used, and you'll find though that in Zechariah chapter 6 verse 11 to 12 that the name of the coming Messiah is spelled with 5 letters, which translates into Yahusha, and that's the original text. Now again, with vowel points, it's going to say Yahushua, and that's because they vowel pointed and added an extra letter in there, which would be the uah, and that's where you get Yahushua. Now, I'm going to share with you in Numbers chapter 13. I want to read, and again, this is a different name. That he is the son. By the way, this is mentioned that he's not the son of Nun. He's the son of Yahusha. Now, keep in mind, Joshua is referred to as the son of Nun. There is a distinct difference between the two people we're talking about here. The Mashiach is the son of Yahusha. Joshua is the son of, or Yahusha, here in the scriptures, is the son of Nun. And so we know through the scriptures and throughout the writings that the name that people were using for Yahusha, son of Nun, was changed throughout the scriptures to, in some cases, to Yahushua, and there's only two actual verifications in the scriptures, in the Tanakh, that verify that name is being used, and that has and by the way, the 2 times that it's used is talking about Yahusha crying out, but we'll talk about that in another sessions. But the fact is that just because the son of Nun, Joshua the son of Nun, was changed to Yeshua, doesn't mean that the Mashiach's name is Yeshua. Now, I want to go now to the fact is that, and I'm going to read this in verse 16. It says, and this is Numbers chapter 13, these are the names of the men which Moses or Masha sent out to spy out the land. And Moshe or Masha called Hosea. Now that's what it says in your English translation. Hosea, the son of Nun, Yahushua. Joshua, it says here. Not Joshua, Jehushua, Shua is what it says in my English translation here. But again, if you look this up, here's something very interesting. If you look this verse up, you'll see that where it says Hosea, that, first of all, that's not even an accurate transliteration. The actual word is Husha. It's spelled, ha with the letter he or ha, uah or u, and then the shin and the ayin. It's spelled with 4 letters. And Husha was the original name of Joshua. Husha, which actually means deliverance or deliverer or salvation. Husha was the name of Joshua before Moses changed his name. And he changed his name. He didn't change it to Shua. He changed it to Yahusha. All he did was add the letter of the Creator's name, the first letter of the Creator's name, the letter Yod, and then Husha became Yahusha. Do you see that? Yahusha. He didn't become Yahushua. There was no UA added in this text here. You can verify this by going and looking at the original. You have to see this in a Hebrew, Greek interlinear Bible to be able to verify the letters. And the original name of Joshua, which most people know as Joshua, was Husha. And Moses changed his name by adding the letter Yod to the beginning of his name, and he became Yahusha. And we're going to get in more in this in our next session. There's a whole lot more to be said. We want to verify everything. I want you to verify everything. Just don't take my word for it. But don't make your judgment